What should we make of Billy Napier and Florida's success on the recruiting trail? There's a lot to unpack with this because recruiting is exciting. Summer is for recruiting. A lot of the big pieces are happening right now with official visits being taken, kids committing, 4th of July. It seems like that's always popping off in the recruiting world. But what do we make of it for Florida specifically? A lot of people are Billy Napier naysayers on the outside looking in. But last week, y'all all saw the run that he went on now. Y'all saw the way that Florida just rose up the On3 industry team recruiting rankings. Currently, the time of us recording this right now, they have a top 3 class. So again, I go back to my original question. What do we make of this? You can't win without talent. That's the truth. But also, talent doesn't equate necessarily automatically to winning ball games. So I think if I'm a Florida fan, how I would evaluate the success we're having on the recruiting trail right now, I would treat that a lot like a compass. And I'll explain more what I mean by that in just a second. But make sure you're subscribed right here to the On3 YouTube channel because we talk ball every single day. The Hard Count is live tomorrow morning, this very show, full length, 10 a.m. Central, 11 a.m. Eastern. It's going to be a good time, all right? So make sure you're subscribed. Get in here. We'll chop it up in the live chat. Have a good time. Follow me on Twitter and on Instagram at JD Piquel to make sure that you're notified when we do go live. Appreciate you in advance for that. So as I was saying, if I'm a Florida Gator fan, I'm looking at this on the recruiting trail, and I'm using this momentum and this juice that I'm seeing as a compass. Now, a compass, it doesn't tell you when you've arrived anywhere. A compass isn't your destination, but a compass does tell you that you're headed the right direction. And that's what I think you have to say about this right now. Does it mean that you're going to win the SEC next year? Does it mean Billy Napier is the guy for Florida to get back to the mountaintop of college football? Like, I don't know. I don't know. But I know it's a step in the right direction. I know it's a much better spot right now than where you were previously under Dan Mullen. You have a coach who is prioritizing recruiting. And also it tells me that the structure they have in place right now in Gainesville is working. It's closing the deal, whether it's the official visit structure, whether it's the messaging, whether it's the alignment with the staff, like however you want to piece this together, what they have going right now is a good thing, and that's a step in the right direction in Gainesville. Because for Florida, that was one of the frustrations you had with Dan Mullen. He wasn't prioritizing recruiting. You weren't recruiting at the level you expect at, the level that you're capable at with that brand at Florida. It's headed the right direction. Like I said at the top of this whole thing, talent doesn't just automatically equate to wins, but you can't win without talent if we're using history as our teacher. So now there's going to be a lot of people that come out of the woodwork from opposing fan bases and Billy Napier naysayers saying 2 things, right? First thing going to be, well, wait till they get on the field. Wait till they start playing games and they see the product that Florida has right now. They're going to decommit so fast once they see them losing games. The kids that are committing to Florida right now are committing to a team that won 6 ball games a season ago. These are kids that are making an attempt to restock the trophy cases in Gainesville. They're not just piling on trophies. They're not just walking into an operation that's ready-made. And I promise you, man, these kids know that. These kids are on Twitter. These kids watch the games on Saturday. They understand what's going on at Florida. They're smart kids. But I'll tell you this too. They believe wholeheartedly, everyone who's committing to Billy Napier right now, they are a part of the solution in Gainesville. They're showing up saying, I know what Florida is right now. I know what Florida hasn't been the last couple of years, but guess what? We're going to be the class to change it. So unless Florida walks out there and something catastrophic happens, I'm talking catastrophic like 3 wins, which I would be enormously surprised. I think you would be enormously surprised. Barring something wildly unforeseen, these kids, I believe, the majority will stay intact because the product on the field is not what's at the front of their mind. They're coming to be the change in Gainesville. So that's the first thing that you're going to hear. Second thing you're going to hear, well, Billy Napier's not going to develop these kids. He's not going to know how to develop these kids. We all understand that. And to me, that is just so far-fetched because Billy Napier comes from the Sun Belt. He was a head coach at Louisiana. And let me say this, there is nobody above a 3-star level playing in the Sun Belt. And that's not to dunk on the Sun Belt. If anything, it is a feather in the cap for Billy Napier because if you're all having the same level of talent across your conference, what does that mean? It means you all, relatively speaking, have the same kind of ingredients to work with. And so if you have the same ingredients, what does it come back to? It comes back to coaching, comes back to evaluation, and it comes back to development. Players that played for Billy Napier at Louisiana, there are multiple cats that are now on SEC rosters. One of them which being your running back in Montrell Johnson at Florida. So what I'm trying to say is here, development is how Billy Napier has gotten the job at Florida. Development is how he won at Louisiana. If development is your concern, I don't think that's a fair shot to throw at Billy Napier. Okay, and this just goes back to the overall sentiment we've been talking about here for some time now since the season ended. Was 2022 like the storybook year you wanted to have with a top 5 pick in Anthony Richardson? No, of course not. It was also year one. And not all year ones are created equal. The situation LSU had where they played for an SEC title in 22 was not the same year one that Billy Napier walked into in Florida. Like, they're not the same here. And so I keep on saying this, and y'all that watch the show, I mean, we're aligned here. It is far too early to have any definitive opinion on Billy Napier. Why? Because there's not enough data. There is not enough data, and he's not playing with his guys just yet. But going back to the juice in the recruiting trail they got right now, it's a step in the right direction. Now, one recruiting class does not necessarily either, equate to just change in your program. You got to start stacking them now. Got to start stacking classes. You got to hang on to this class and got to start stacking classes at Florida. But I keep on saying it. You got a coach that cares about recruiting, is surrounded by some of the top high school talent in the country in the state of Florida. That's a good recipe for success. So if I'm a Florida fan, I'm encouraged. The juice in the recruiting trail is a compass pointing in the right direction. Again, we're live tomorrow morning. Make sure you're locked in right here on the Hard Count on the On3 YouTube channel. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. We're going to keep this party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of the Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.